If you're a coach or consultant who wants to add more meaning and purpose to the solutions you provide, you're going to want to hear what my guest today has to say. He's going to explain how to build your big why. Hello and welcome to the Seven Figure Life Fulfillment Podcast, where we share strategies to help coaches and consultants build life-affirming seven-figure businesses filled with passion and purpose. I'm your host, Ken Stephen, and my guest today is Paul Brown. Paul is on a personal mission to bring reliable water to 1 billion people. Now, on the surface, this may not sound like something that applies to your business, but I invite you to view this episode through the lens of how associating your business with a worthy humanitarian cause or a charity can be a powerful way to make it stand out from the competition and make working with you more appealing to client prospects. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ken. So grateful to be here. You've got a wonderful radio voice. I've been told before that I've got a radio face.
Well, we won't go there. We won't go there. Okay.
Sure.
I think you got a TV face. You're just fine. So yeah,
Oh,
it's
thank
good.
you, Ken.
Yeah, yeah, no, seriously. You can do TV, you can do radio, you can do whatever you want. Radio, TV, whatever you want. Paul, this is a really interesting topic. Like this really resonates with me because I'm a big believer in the fact that, if you're going to create a seven-figure business, you should wake up in the morning and feel like the work that you're doing has meaning and purpose. And sometimes we can do that through the solutions we deliver, but sometimes, okay, maybe aligning ourselves with something that's bigger than us and bigger than a solution that we provide, or maybe that could definitely be something that could give you the fulfillment part of the seven-figure life fulfillment. So I'd really like people to understand your story. So why to help people understand, number one, how did you come to this big why of wanting to give 1 billion people reliable water? And then well, let's just start there and we'll take it from there.
Sure. Thank you, Ken. The short answer is I found this why of caring about people that didn't have water and wanting them to have water. I was doing some research on an author's website that I like, and I was learning about early Christian history. This is like 15 years ago. And I saw a book on there about giving to the poor, and I thought to myself, I don't want to read about giving to the poor. I want to hear about early Christian history. And then I thought to myself, Paul, do you realize how dumb you sound right now? So I ordered the book and became convicted that whatever I didn't need would go to those that did need, and that has been a liberating concept to come to. So about 6 years later, I was at my first real estate investors conference. I was working for the man. I was an operations manager, recently got out of the army. And when I was at this real estate investors conference, there was a guy up there teaching. He was, selling his coaching program and talking about how you could be great and you could do real estate. And I'm just starting to learn the possibilities. And all of a sudden I get a voice that tells me, Paul, you're going to fix this water problem in this generation. And if you've ever had four thoughts in a half a second, I sure did. And two of them were that, well, I don't have the network or net worth for that. You sure you got the right guy? But at the same time, it was like, well, that's not really my problem. If I've been called to do this, then the resources will come. I just need to say yes and start down that path. So I left that real estate investors conference and I did not go throw myself into philanthropy. I built a really good real estate investors company, much better than I would have if I didn't have the motivation and even better, the inspiration and the positive pressure of if I don't do what I'm called to do, then 1 billion of my best friends might die or get sick.
Mm.
So that caused me to take a lot more action and risk than I otherwise would have. And along that way, some people were like, Paul, your passion's real estate. You love real estate. And I'm like, it's sticks and drywall and shingles. Like there's nothing, it's inanimate object. There's nothing there to love. And yeah, I do like the relationships that come along with it, but sometimes those can be stressful too. So no, I like that it's starting to free up my time. That's what I love about real estate. But so there's a separation between, a lot of people say do what you love. I think a lot of times that can be a mistake. Now, I think loving what you do is always good advice, but that's a decision. But for me, it's not that I love real estate. It's that I like that it frees up my time to do what I'm called to do, which is help people get water.
Mm. Interesting. Interesting. So you mentioned before we hopped on the call here that now this cause, this big cause, the big why that you have, um, you're actually using it to your advantage in your real estate business. Am I correct in that?
That's right. That's right. Pardon me. I did initially that came from what I just explained to you that it it, it inspired me and caused me to take more action. And here lately, a lot of friends have come around and been like, man, you need to tell your clients what you're doing, that their money's not just going to hookers and blow. Like you tell them it's going to help people get water and sustainable wells that so they can be a part of your story and your why. So we're doing that more now and reading people into your vision. And one that falls in line with something one of my first mentors taught me, which is to always lead with your vision. And people, you share your vision, you keep sharing it, people will get behind it. I'm finding that to be so.
Hey, this is very inspirational stuff, Paul. Um, so you're saying that this big why of yours, not only was it inspiration in helping you grow your business, all right? Because I'm all about seven-figure life fulfillment, like helping people grow their business to seven figures. So having the worthy cause helped you to put in the effort to build the success that you already have in real estate. Okay, and now you're saying that clients are probably are you attracting clients now because they believe in what you believe, they believe in your cause, and they'd rather use you for real estate than competitors?
That's happened some directly in real estate, and of course, that's also happening in fundraising, but more more directly and impactful for you and the audience is that so you've got your business that has nothing to do with the philanthropic cause. Like that's totally fine, and you're making a living, you're making money, and you're enjoying doing it. That's great too. So it's easy and it's a helpful fit for you to start saying or to put on your collateral or your website that, hey, up to 1% of our sales or our profits go to such and such charity. And that gets you good PR. Now, of course, it's good to know the charity that you're giving to. That's even better because it may inspire you to do more. And who knows what will come from those relationships. But yeah, that can be leveraged. And I'm not talking about like in a greedy way. I'm saying
No.
it can be leveraged in a relational way to say, hey, we hear it, you know, maybe you help people do better on LinkedIn. We hear it, LinkedIn relational marketing, 1% of our sales goes to servant leadership charities or whatever you come up with. I know a guy if you need somebody to partner like that with.
No, no, but this is good though, right? Because for our listeners today, um, it goes back to Simon Sinek, right? And he's saying that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? And and
Yeah,
and
that's
so
true.
if you have uh, people will want to work with you. You'll have better client relationships in your business as a coach or consultant if you're attracting people who believe in what you believe, right? They're going to want to work with you. You've already got common ground, like-minded. Sometimes we attract clients and they're quite frankly a pain to work with. But
Yeah.
having a big why is a great way, I think, anyway. And maybe you can tell me if I'm right in my assumption on this, Paul. But I think it's a great way to ensure that you're attracting clients that you enjoy working with, and therefore that also makes the work that you do far more fulfilling because you're dealing with people that appreciate the work that you do and where the efforts of that work go to support people.
That's absolutely correct. And there's another thing that I want to take you to that can be helpful when you're thinking about your why. So until I was in my 30s, I just thought like life is what it is, that you get what you get. I had no idea that you could design the life you want and go get it. And that is a very liberating and empowering concept. And I imagine that you and that you can, and also you listener, know that at this point you can design the kind of business and the kind of life that you want. What I've not heard a lot of people talk about, this is kind of one of my signature points, is that you can also you can also pull your why up by its bootstraps. You can enhance your why. You can design a bigger why, or hitch your wagon to somebody else's super big why. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's important because, like, I've had a lot of conversations with people who are like, Paul, I don't know what my why is. How do I find my why? I'm like, well, that's okay. I didn't find mine until I was in my mid 30s. And I didn't go looking for it. It found me, and it found me very profoundly. And where did it find me? Well, in the normal course of doing business. I was at a business seminar. Martin Luther King talked about faith is taking the first step without being able to see the whole staircase. So you get out there and you take the action. That's where the magic happens, not in just sitting in your office trying to plan out some divine business or life purpose. But what I'm getting at here is the bigger your why, or the bigger the why is that you attach yourself and your business to, the more the bigger that's going to make your what bigger too. It's going to make your life bigger. It's going to make your income bigger, because your what is not going to outgrow your why.
Hmm.
So if your why is simply, well, it's to provide for my family, well, then you're probably going to build like a 2 to 400K business, because that's all that takes to do that well and comfortably. And if that's all you want, that's okay. I'm not why shaming or income shaming anyone. Only half the people I talk to are like, well, I want to do more. Okay, well, the way to do more is to why bigger. So if you've got a passion that you're passionate about, go for it, but go for it with the energy of, how can I make the biggest impact? Not because I'm so awesome, but I'm the only one that can control me. So how do I make the biggest impact? And once you're there, it's not going to be about you or your ego anyway. It's going to be about moving the needle on that thing that you care about. And then if you still don't have anything, uh, you know, reach out to Ken, reach out to me, reach out to somebody that is doing something big, and tell them you want to join them. I don't know anybody that's out here helping people that wouldn't want someone's help. But yeah, you can control and manipulate. Now, in this case, I use the word manipulate in a positive manner. You can manipulate your why for the better.
Hey, wow, this is great insight. This is great insight, Paul. How can people reach out? I mean, you mentioned it, hey, reach out to me, reach out to you, to connect to a bigger why. Um, First of all, is there anything you mentioned about, hey, people don't know what their why is and all that kind of stuff? Do you have any tips for them on how they might just be able to, quietly meditate or whatever it is about what their why might be?
Yeah, I think in addition to taking action in your own life, is to spend some time thinking about, if you're a praying person, pray about, uh, in any event, get counsel on what things are important to you, what really pulls at your heartstrings, um, and look around. Ideally, I think it would be best if it has something to do with helping people. So look for a need out there where maybe a certain group of people, or a certain person, or a certain nation, um, or a certain disability group has this particular challenge, and you know that you could in some way help them. Then dig into that and get involved. And as you take action and get closer to it, you'll know, like, if you're drawn to it and you can't get enough of helping those folks, then that's probably it. And then
Yeah. So,
educate yourself around, what does this mean? Like, for me, not every I sit here assuming people know this. They don't know it, but 1 out of 8 people don't have water. That's a
wow.
billion people. About two out of 8 people, 2 billion people, have some kind of water insecurity. And um and so that knowing that motivates me to say, well, I've got water. You know,
Hmm.
I'd like for everybody to have water.
Hey, that's great. This is very inspirational. And basically, what you're saying, if I had to sum it up, is saying that, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, coach, consultant, who happens to be my target audience, hey, it's not just about making money that adds fulfillment to your life. It's making a difference. All right. It's not about money.
That's
It's about
right.
making a difference. And here's
That's
a
right.
here's a real opportunity to really enhance the fulfillment you feel from the work that you do and in your life in general by not making it all about the money. Yeah, money's important, but try to find a way to also make a difference.
That's right.
Yeah. Paul, how can people reach out to you just to learn more about discovering their big why?
I'd love for you to check me out at waterwalk.co. That's .co. And there's a newsletter there if you subscribe to it. And anytime somebody responds to that, so I send that out myself. Anytime somebody responds to it, it comes to my email. I respond back. I read those. I will see you, and that also just puts you onto the updates of what we're doing for the next 5 weeks to prepare for our walk across the African continent. And then once that starts, it will update them weekly and show them where they can get daily updates of what it's like to walk across an African continent to raise awareness for water. That's waterwalk.co.
Waterwalk.co, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Paul, I want to thank you for being so generous with your time and your insights today. I mean, this has been truly inspirational. Uh, I certainly got some great takeaways from this. I'm going to post that link in the show notes below. So if you
Thank
didn't
you.
catch it, people, not a problem. And for anyone listening today, if you benefited from Paul's insights, please share this podcast with your friends so they can benefit too. I'll see everybody else on the next episode of the Seven Figure Life Fulfillment Podcast. And Paul, thanks again for being such a great guest today.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks for having me.
All right, bye for now.